He's a goddamn idiot. He's a buffoon.
I knew you were going
He
there.
has zero football, common sense, IQ, acumen, you name it. He ain't got it. His ass clown decisions. They are 1-4 because of the talent or because of the fourth down bone-headed play calling. We couldn't convert, man. We couldn't stay on the field, man. Can you coach, man? I was wrong about Dan Campbell, okay? When he was first hired, I called him a meathead. Questioned his credentials, no business coaching in the NFL, yada, yada, yada. Wasn't happy with the antics. Too much rah-rah, not enough substance.
We got into some arguments about it.
We got into a lot of arguments about it. And that was anywhere from June of 21 to August, September.
Yeah.
Right? And even on the 0-8, 0-9 start, well, we did this, right?
Yeah.
And, we're 5 games into the season. And, yeah, I'm pretty wrong about him. He's proven you and everybody else right. He's more than just a meathead. He's a goddamn idiot. He's a buffoon.
I knew you were going
He
there.
has zero football, common sense, IQ, acumen, you name it. He ain't got it. I was wrong about Dan Campbell. 4-17-1. 1-4 with historically the best offense through 4 games in NFL history. And then get shut out the week after. It's always the defense does really good and the offense doesn't, right? And then it's the offense does really good, but the defense doesn't.
The only complete performance was the first half against Washington. That was
if
really
any,
it.
yes.
That was it.
And we're sitting here now, and be honest with yourselves. Just be a little honest. Are we having the conversation about Brad Holmes, the talent, Dan Campbell, if this is a 3-2 football team? I want to know. Put it in the chat right now. Pin it at the top. Are we having these conversations? Are we having these very conversations? If the Lions are 2-3, but Dan Campbell didn't cost them 3 games, right? They just lost to better teams. Are you having this conversation if you're 3-2 and Dan hasn't made some of the play calling decisions he's made on 4th down? Are we having this topic? Are we having this discussion? Yes or no? I want to know from all of you. Jeff, yes or no?
No.
No. What a surprise. And this is someone across from me, who I respect very much,
Right.
who's been very honest about his thoughts on Dan Campbell, which I appreciate, even if I didn't agree with him at times. But no, Jeff, we wouldn't be having these conversations. What we'd be talking about is a 2-3 or 3-2 football team entering a very difficult part of the schedule, but they're getting healthy, yada, 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 all these good things that would be happening. But no, it's not that they're 1-4. It's why they are 1-4.
Right. Context.
And do you believe they are 1-4 because of the talent or because of the 4th down bone-headed play calling your head coach has made? Or the onside kick against Philly? Or the timeout before half against Philly where you're now down 2 possessions instead of 1? What is it? The random timeout in the 3rd quarter against Philly? What about the running clock against Baltimore last year? How many examples do I need to bring up? How many? Pittsburgh? Cleveland? How many? I've got 22 games. I'm not saying fire the guy, by the way. Let's bring this back a little bit.
Right.
I am not saying fire Dan Campbell.
But you're skeptical. Very, very skeptical.
Not even that I'm skeptical at this point.
You're
I'm
out.
done.
You're out.
But
if you're out.
But if I'm out, that means now he's coaching for his job.
Okay. I was going to say, if you're out.
If I believe in you, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, right? I'm going to sit up here and support you. I'm going to do my best to give logical answers on why. How long were we on the phone yesterday? On the show? An hour and a half. Mm-hmm. I waited an hour and a half for all of you good people here in Detroit to call me and give me one reason why I should believe in Dan Campbell, outside if he makes your balls feel good or that he has, nice pecs.
Yeah.
Or he talks about his feelings. Man, none of you called in.
Yeah.
None of
You
you.
can get a single one.
And you're
Besides
1 and
Luke.
4. That's why we're having these talks. And I'm done after today. I'm done. Done till next week. Done talking about Dan for the rest of the week. I'm done after today. That's why you're having these conversations. Nobody would be talking about talent. Talent. Keyword. Talent. If the lines are 3-2 or 2-3. Right? Fair or not fair?
Fair. Fair.
And now I got to go, and I'm going to use the Giants example, whether you like it or not. Okay? You want to go to the Giants draft history? Let's go. Kayvon Thibodeau, who's only played 3 games this year. Evan Neal, who's only played them all. He's been okay. He hasn't been great.
Yeah, he's been
He
shaky.
hasn't been good. Daniel Bellinger, a 4th-round tight end, has been nice. And that's about it. That's about it. Nobody else is putting up anything from this draft class for the Giants.
So
they have one player contributing full-time outside of Evan Neal, and that's Daniel Bellinger, a 4th-round tight end. Kayvon Thibodeau on and off injured at the moment, but we all expect him to be fine, so I'm not going to even go there. The year before, you know who they drafted? Kadarius Toney, Azeez Ojulari, Aaron Robinson, Ellerson Smith, Gary Brightwell, Rodarius Williams. Do you know anybody from that list outside of Azeez? No, the hell you don't.
Yeah, Kadarius, he's
No, the hell you don't.
He hasn't played a ton.
How about the year prior? Andrew Thomas. The only player that they got. He's good. He's very good.
Very good.
Only player that come out of that draft worth their salt. Maybe I would give you Xavier McKinney.
So they're averaging, you're saying one starter.
One player.
One key starter a draft.
And they don't go out and spend money because the GM before Brian Dable show up messed it all up by giving it to Kenny Galladay and everything else that they've done. The Giants were a mess. They're 4-1. Well, Adam, they're scheduled. They're scheduled. They beat the Titans, they beat the Bears, and they beat the...
The 3-2 Titans? Oh.
They beat the Packers.
The Packers?
They beat the Titans.
Yeah.
They're 4-1, and their only losses against the Cowboys, who are 4-1. They didn't get reinforcements this year. Nobody was talking about the Giants having a talented team. You want to see this? You want to hear the Giants starting 11 on offense? Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Marcus Johnson, David Sills V, Richie James, Daniel Bellinger, a fullback who I'm not even going to say his name, Andrew Thomas, Ben Brederson, Joe Feliciano, Mark Lanowski, and Evan Neal.
So what you're saying is their offense is Saquon Barkley.
It's awful.
Yeah, it's Saquon
Their
Barkley.
defense, Azeez Ojulari, who's been out. Dexter Lawrence, I like him. He's been playing.
Yeah, he's really
Leonard Williams, who's been out, hasn't played a game yet. Kayvon Thibodeau, on and off, injured.
Adoree Jackson didn't
Jalen Smith, Trey Crowder, wow.
Jalen Smith was on the practice squad.
Oh, my God. Adoree Jackson, been out. Denari Holmes, that's your corner. Your slot corner, O'Shane Eximius. I don't even know how to say his name.
Yeah, they have
Fabian Moreau, injured. Xavier McKinney, solid.
Yeah, he is solid.
Julian Love, okay. Where's the talent on New York? And that's where I am drawing my damn line. Let's go to the Atlanta Falcons since we want to play this game. Let's go to the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons on offense line up with Marcus Mariota, Tyler Algier, Drake London, some dude named Zacchaeus, Kyle Pitts, who's injured and has been a bust in year 2, Jake Matthews, old as hell, Elijah Wilkinson, Drew Dahlman, Chris Lindstrom, Caleb McGray. The worst in New York on offense. They're worse than New York. They're 9-13 under Arthur Smith. Defense, Traquan Graham, Abdullah Anderson, Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett's a solid, damn good player.
Yeah.
Mikael Walker, Rashaan Evans, Lorenzo Carter, AJ Terrell's a damn good corner. Richie Grant, Casey Hayward.
Richie Grant.
There's a few.
Yeah.
Where is the talent that I'm missing? Why, they're 9-13 through 2 years, and they've been in a clear rebuild.
Yeah.
Atlanta has been in a clear rebuild. They didn't give Matt Ryan anything. Matt Ryan sucks.
They don't have the offensive
line. And then
they
traded him away, going into a clear rebuild. And they still have more wins than you. And they're still putting in a better effort on defense than your football team. But it's talent. It's talent. So, yes, I have come full circle on Dan. I'm done. And no, that does not mean I'm saying fire him. But what it means is I'm done restraining myself from calling out his BS, his ass clown decisions. He's had 9 of them, Jeff, in 2 years. He's played 22 games, and I'm being nice on only saying 9. 9 of the 22 games, he's made bonehead decisions. That doesn't include the 2 or 3 per game that he makes. He makes an awful decision, more than an awful decision, 1.2 times a game. Does that make sense to any of you? So that's where I'm at this morning. And should Dan Campbell get a chance? Yes, he should. Again, I'm not saying fire him. Dan Campbell should get every opportunity for the rest of the season to prove his worth. But I am done pulling the reins on him. I'm done restraining myself. You are a professional head football coach. I expect you to make the right decision 9 times out of 10. Not 3 times out of 10, buddy. 4th and 9, inexcusable. That was a Rod Marinelli decision. That's a Hugh Jackson decision. And then you know what kills me the most, by the way, guys? Because I tried. I really tried. But it's this quote from Dan Campbell, Jeff. And I want to know what you think. Quote, now, I did think we got some manageable downs. We just weren't able to convert them. The guy is a lunatic. He won't even look himself in the mirror and admit that he's making the wrong decision 9 out of 10 times. Right. He's now doubling down on it and saying it was just one of those days, Our offense, man, has been pretty steady, man. Has pretty well, man. But this is the day, it's just that type of day where it didn't go well, man. And we never really got into a true rhythm, man. We couldn't convert, man. We couldn't stay on the field, man. Can you coach, man? 22 games and he can't coach. He has 12 games the rest of the season to shut me up, do a good job, coach the team up, get them to play more consistently, have all 3 phases of the game, special teams, defense, offense, it can all come together. He still has that opportunity. I'm not saying fire him. But I am done hearing this belief in Dan Campbell that is not predicated on anything outside of feelings, man. I feel good, man. I'm taking steroids, man. I'm wearing a helmet, man. I got a grit hat on, man. None of it. None of it related to football. That's why I'm out. I'm not saying fire him. But, Jeff, that's where I'm at this morning.
And I can't blame you. I mean, for me personally, I'm going to give him the rest of the season. He still has an entire 12 games to prove himself. But on top of that, and the point that I've been making, and this is what worries me because I'm hearing everything you're saying. If people want to use the talent argument, what happens when this team is even more talented? Can you trust Dan Campbell in those situations? Look what was happening over with LA with the Chargers, with Brandon Staley. Team is uber talented. I know they have injuries. Brandon Staley's decision-making is already, you saw Keenan Allen's tweet. If you follow Keenan Allen, he's like, what is going on? What was that decision to go for it there? Talking about Brandon Staley. Like, Brandon Staley may be fired because of his decision-making in games, even though his roster's uberly talented. I think Dan Campbell gets that pass because there isn't talent. But that's not my problem. It's not the talent. It's his coaching ability in terms of making those decisions. I think he can coach. Can he be a great coach? I don't know. I have yet to see that.
Again, I'm sorry.
What advantage does he bring you from a week-to-week basis?
So that's where I draw the line and say, when you say something like, I think he can coach, you may think he can coach. He hasn't shown me in 22 games that he can coach. Outside of Arizona, which is the only game, all 3 phases of the game, they put it together for 4 quarters. That's the only game. You gave up, 51 to Seattle last year? 59, something along those lines? Mm-hmm. You know what you do the following year with no Russell Wilson? Give up 48. What an improvement. We're not having this discussion if this head coach is overachieving. God forbid, by the way, God forbid in Detroit, your football team overachieves. It's okay in New York, right? Because the Jets and Giants are overachieving. And no, I don't think the Giants are division winners. I don't think they're NFC contenders. No, I don't. But you know what the coach is doing? He's going out there and giving his team the best opportunity to win every Sunday, and they've won 4 of his first 5 games. 4 of which, those 4 wins, are as many as your head coach has won in 22 games.
And people can't even use it's a really young roster. You know who has a younger roster than the Detroit Lions? Atlanta.
Philly and Atlanta have just as young of a roster.
right now in rankings, average age for the roster at 30th, 32, meaning the youngest. 30th is the Lions. 31,
Who's 32?
The Browns.
Who's 31?
The Falcons.
Who's 29?
The Cowboys. 28's Jacksonville.
Who's 27? 26? Give them to me.
Then we're getting out of the Rams, and then you get the Panthers, Vikings. The Giants are 22nd. Eagles are 20th. Like Jets are 18th.
That's
so
fine.
again, I mean, you can use that card, but
Let's take a quick pause.
it's a tough one.